Hi, I'm Chrissy Heffernan. I am doing this video for my final portfolio project for interpreting techniques. In this exercise, my little sister Katie will be helping me by reading passages so that I can show memory and pattern inference. Ready?
Context. My vacation last year was on the Caribbean coast of Mexico. Vacation on the coast of Mexico. Number 1. I have always wanted to see the Caribbean, but I am a workaholic and never took a blank.
I have always wanted to see the Caribbean, but I am a workaholic and I never took a vacation.
Number 2. Finally, last blank on our honeymoon, I saw the Caribbean coast of Mexico.
Finally, last fall on our honeymoon, I saw the Caribbean coast of Mexico.
Number 3. We went to the island of Cozumel, which is just south of Cancun, but is more blank.
Finally, we went to the island of Cozumel, which is just south of Cancun, but more tropical.
Number 4. We stayed in a small blank that looked like a hacienda.
We stayed in a small house that looked like a hacienda.
Number 5. While I was there, I learned to blank in the beautiful blue water.
While I was there, I learned to swim in the beautiful blue water.
Number 6. The water is very salty and very warm, so it is very blank.
The water is very salty and very warm. It is very enjoyable.
Number 7. I spent most of every day lying in the water watching the blank. I especially liked the parrotfish and the barracudas.
I spent most of every day lying in the water watching the fish. I especially liked the parrotfish and the barracudas.
Number 8. One night, my husband caught several abalone. We cooked and ate them. It was a blank I'll never forget.
One night, my husband caught several abalone. We cooked and ate them. It was a night I will never forget.
We're done.
Okay. In this next exercise, Katie will read a passage that will actually have answers. After I'm done showing pattern inference with my context clues, she will then tell me the correct answer. Ready?
Which one do you want? The one that's folded?
Mm-hmm. That one right there.
Okay. That's a long. Okay. Only up to number 12, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 1. Hello, my name is Chris Loons. I'd like to talk about a fond memory that I had from childhood. As I recall, I was 10 years old on my way home from blank.
As I recall, I was on my way home from school.
And on a street corner was my favorite aunt. It was a surprise to me because she didn't blank in that town, and I hadn't seen her that often.
It was a surprise to me because she didn't live in that town, and I hadn't seen her that often.
When she blanked me, she asked if I wanted to go with her to Washington, D.C. I was real surprised.
When she saw me, she asked me if I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. with her. I was very surprised.
At that blank, I had never been more than 100 miles from my home.
At that time, I had never been more than 100 miles from my home.
And Washington was a good 250 miles away. We left that blank on a train.
We left that day on a train.
I'd never been on a train before that blank. Before that. On a train before that blank.
I had never been on a train before that day.
Okay. Got to Washington, as I recall, it must have been about 11 o'clock in the blank. Washington was a beautiful sight, all lit up at night.
Wait, read that one again.
It just says, got to Washington. As I recall, it must have been about 11 o'clock in the blank. Washington was a beautiful sight, all lit up at night.
We got to Washington at 11 o'clock at night. Washington was a beautiful sight, all lit up at night.
Number 8. The next day I got to see the Capitol, the White House. The blank, however, my aunt was more interested in seeing the National Museum of Art.
The Washington Monument? Wow, yeah, you got it right!
Okay, I'm going to reread that because it's still part of it. However, my aunt was more interested in seeing the National Museum of Art, so she blanked me over, and I had to sit there for hours while she enjoyed the...
So she looked me over? What's the right answer for that one?
Dragged.
So she dragged me over to the art museum. That makes more sense.
While she enjoyed the blank.
While she enjoyed the art.
Of course, I was too young at the time to appreciate it, but it was a blank experience for me.
Of course, I was too young at the time to appreciate it, but it was an unforgettable time for me. Experience for me.
Memorable. Am I supposed to correct you?
Memorable?
Yeah. Okay, because there were 2 other ones, but you were close. Okay. And one that I've blank all these years fondly.
And one that I have remembered all these years fondly.
Okay.
What were the other 2 that I got wrong?
Number 5, it was evening, but you said day.
Okay.
And number 6, you said night, I think, but it was... Oh, number 7, you said night, and it was evening, so you're fine.
Okay.
And number 6 was that weird one that I didn't know, and it was distance. It was that I'd never been on a train before that blank, and it was distance.
Oh.
And you said day or something like that.
Weird.
Okay.
Well, these are my examples of showing memorization in sentences and pattern inference. With the pattern inference in the second example, it's harder to remember things if you don't have all the context clues in front of you, and or watching someone else's facial expressions can also be very helpful. Okay, thank you.
Bye.